Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Hgp Sportscast. I'm Samuel Gillis with your May 27 Sports Stories. Thanks for joining us. Jaden Samuels will tell us now that Guyana will be featured in the Indian Tour to the Caribbean this August. This comes after a visit to Guyana by CWI President Ricky Skerritt over the weekend.
After many twists and turns, international cricket is making its way back to the Guyana National Stadium in a few months when India tours the Caribbean. This assurance was made during a meeting with Prime Minister Moses Nagamootoo and Skerritt, which was held to discuss matters of mutual interest towards the development and growth of West Indies cricket. The new Cricket West Indies president, along with Chief Executive Officer Johnny Grave and Cricket West Indies Logistics Manager Farwas Bashk were on a 3-day visit to the country. The Indian team is scheduled to tour the West Indies in August following the Cricket World Cup, which will commence next week in England. Skerritt also explained that he will be engaging various local cricket stakeholders on the way forward for cricket governance in Guyana. Also coming out of the meeting is that Guyana, in the not-too-distant future, will embark on a multi-$100 million program to upgrade a number of grounds all across the country. Jaden Samuels, Hgp Sport.
We continue in cricket. The West Indies women got off to a strong start by crushing the Ireland women in the first T20 match on Sunday. More in this report.
The Windies women showcased their batting and bowling skills without their number one all-rounder and power hitter, DeAndre Doughton. The women in maroon decided to bat after they won the toss and quickly saw Hayley Matthews being run out in the 4th over for 3, and Brittany Cooper caught for 17 in the 11th over to leave the Windies women on shaky grounds just outside the first half of 54 for 2. Nevertheless, the gladiator of the day belonged to skipper Stephanie Taylor, who thrilled fans with a blistering 75 from 53 balls, which included 11 fours and a 6 to take the Windies women to par score of 139 of their allotted 20 overs. The Irish fell cheaply in response to the target, with Kim Gareth, who was the only player to amass double figures with 46 runs or 55 balls in the first match. Afi Fletcher was the mastermind behind the attack, and she grabbed a 4 for 14 in just 3.4 overs. West Indies will tackle Ireland in Dublin in the next T20 match set for Tuesday, the 28th at 11 a.m. local time. For Hgp Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
Now in football, the passage of 2 significant resolutions were among the many issues addressed when the Guyana Football Federation convened its ordinary congress at the Otterchong Convention Center at the weekend. Jaden Samuels reports.
The first resolution, which was unanimously passed, amended Article 10B of the Constitution that had stipulated the 8 elite clubs would form part of the GFF's membership and replaced it instead with the elite clubs. This resolution was aimed at curing the defect that occurs when a club is relegated and replaced by another one. The resolution further stipulated that A, there will be a system of promotion and relegation of one club in the Elite League at the conclusion of each Elite League competition. B, the champion club at the National Association Qualification Playoff will be promoted to the Elite League, while the lowest placed club in the Elite League will be relegated to the Regional Association upon ratification by Congress. The second resolution was passed by majority after the presentation of the findings of a GFF-appointed inquiry into the long-festering issues surrounding the sale of hosting rights in the October 12, 2012 Guyana vs. Mexico World Cup qualification match. The issues addressed in that resolution were A, no evidence was discovered to indicate the reason for the sale of hosting rights or that the decision to play the game in the USA was the collective will of the Guyana Football Federation. Notwithstanding, the investigation did not discover any evidence of criminal misconduct by the GFF Executive Committee. B. The players' decision to negotiate a profit-sharing agreement outside of their tournament compensation schedule on the eve of the game was inappropriate and done in bad faith. Additionally, the investigation did not discover any evidence that a binding legal contract for profit sharing existed between the GFF and the players. C. In recognition of the country's progress to that stage of the World Cup qualification process, an extra gratia payment of 500 United States dollars will be made to each player who was registered to play in that October 12, 2012 game. Even though the GFF considers this matter officially closed, the Executive Committee reserves the right to investigate any new evidence brought to its attention in the future. Jaden Samuels, Hgp Sport.
Thank you, Jaden. Guyanese athletes ran away with 11 medals at the Regional University Games, the May 20th to 26th event, which took place in Colombia, had all 8 athletes winning medals. It was the 17th edition of the University Games for Central America and Caribbean nations. Medals included 2 golds, 5 silvers, 4 bronze by 8th member athlete team, and a string of third-place finishes by the chess players. Among those that represented Guyana was Kevin Paul and Javon Johnson. Now finally, Davindra Bishu, Lyndall Simmons, and Dwayne Smith snubbed at this year's Caribbean Premier League draft recently held in London. More in this report.
Eyebrows have been raised around the region after several high-profile players failed to find a home during the Caribbean Premier League draft in London. One such person is the much-traveled Lyndon Simmons, who had previously played for the Jamaican Tallawahs, Guyana Amazon Warriors, and St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. 36-year-old Smith, who previously opened for Barbados Tridents and Amazon Warriors, also found himself without a team after entering in the US 70,000 category. Another, a stunning omission, maybe the most surprising, was Barbadian-born Englishman Jofra Archer, who was the most expensive Caribbean-born player for the 2018 IPL season. The all-rounder also had several big performances in the Australia Big Bash League. The player was recently selected for the England and World Cup squads, along with Davindra Bishu and Sunil Ambrose. For Hgp Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
That's all we have for this edition of the Hgp Sports, guys, but do remember, success is not an happening, it is a result. There is nothing mysterious about progressing. It is doing instead of doubting and working instead of wishing. Goodbye.